Alright, you guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Shay. So today's topic is, what's the price you're willing to pay? Okay, we're doing this, testing out this new thing. So again, this is another video where my husband is just bringing me a random topic that I know nothing about what he wants to say. So here we go.
What's the price that you paid to be on this, on YouTube?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I paid in tears, and I paid in suffering.
So we're going to get real deep. We're going to go way back and we're going to get deep, okay?
Okay.
When we first got married, you would often say to me, what? I know I'm called. Finish it.
But I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what I'm called to do. Like, I know I'm called and I know I'm chosen, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
And that was 7 years ago.
8.
8 years. Oh, wow. We've almost been married for 8 years. That's crazy.
Next month.
Yep. So, what were you doing when you first met me?
I was a CNA.
No, in church.
Oh. So I was a CNA, but I was also doing nothing in church. I was just a church member.
That's not necessarily true, because you were digging into the Bible.
Like reading my word.
You gave a sermon before.
Yeah, I have. I forgot about that.
You did stuff with the kids there in the church. You were on a path.
Yeah.
Okay. And when we got married, all of it seemed to fall apart.
Yep.
Everything, right? Now, what you guys don't know, or what Shay doesn't tell you, is Shay's a very private person. She gets very squirmy talking about her personal details. And that's the real reason why I'm here, is because I know how to get those things out of her that she won't just divulge on her own to you guys. So she wants this channel to be a difference to people, and you can't make a difference if you're not willing to give up a piece of yourself.
That's facts.
So talk about the things that you went through before you even thought about YouTube. First of all, when we first got married, we had a ton of money. We lived life like we had it coming in, but it wasn't, because my wife wouldn't allow me to continue to do the things I was doing before we got married. So we were living a fast life, like the money was still coming in, but eventually you can't keep living like that with the money coming, without it coming in,
right?
And replacing. So as fast as we were spending, we weren't making it as fast. So we ended up going broke.
Dead broke.
We were driving around in the car, and the car died. Transmission went. Yeah. Lost the car.
Lost everything.
Couldn't afford to pay rent anymore.
Nope.
So what happened?
Had to move in with my mom.
Couldn't take it living with your mom anymore.
Had to move into the church.
We were offered by a pastor that was a friend of ours to move into the church. What did you see in the church?
A whole lot of everything.
What's everything?
Whole lot of wrong. Like that video that I made about the other day, that we made about going to church, and the response that it got was crazy. However, that's only a small portion of the things that we've had to experience firsthand in churches. That's how I know I'm called to it. So anytime you're called to do something, God has to take you through what it is that he's calling you to do, right? Like, I couldn't see certain things in the church if I was still going to church faithfully. Like, God had to take me completely out of the church and remove me so that I'd be able to see. Not only that I'd be able to see, but that I'll be able to speak in a time where the world was shutting down. Everybody was getting whipped with many stripes. Okay, the Bible talks about being whipped and being chastised that God chastises those that he loves, right? So this whole world last year, 2020, coronavirus hit, and the whole world was being chastised. So when I was living in churches and being humiliated, well, we were living in churches, but I'm just talking about my ministry right now. When I was feeling those emotions, I realized that God was using those times to speak out against what's wrong. You get what I'm saying? So I never would have been able to say what I've said or judge, righteously judge pastors if I didn't see firsthand what the heck they were doing.
What were they doing?
Being greedy. Not even supposed to be in a pulpit. You weren't sent, you just went. What did I see? I saw money hungry vultures, like leeching off of God's people. I've seen $1 million buildings across the street from projects. I've seen people, I hate to bring this up because you brought it up earlier, people laying money at the apostles' feet and taking scripture and using it for self-gain. Like, I've seen all of these things.
How about, did you ever see a businessman buy a church?
Oh my goodness. I had never thought that I would see that. But this is another church that we lived at. And this businessman owned multiple bakery shops in my city.
Big name bakery shops.
The biggest one in Buffalo, New York. Or Western New York, really. In Western New York.
And Canada.
And he decides that he wants to now be a pastor. And because he can afford to be a pastor, he buys a building. So instead of him being called and prepped and chosen to be a pastor, he chose his own self because he could afford it.
Actually, she's skipping a few things.
Am I skipping? What am I skipping?
He bought the church, brought people up from different parts of the country, and informed them, I'm your boss, with the guys that they were going to be pastoring this church.
I didn't skip that part. I was going to get to that.
Oh,
Keep
with
going.
the guys that they were pastoring the church. But when they got here, he said, you're my employees. You work for me. You cash the check every Monday. So you are an employees and you're going to do what I tell you. When they wouldn't do that, they left. And he decided he was going to become pastor of the church.
Yep.
When he was only supposed to be playing an administrative role and dealing with the church's finance only. Now he stepped in to shepherd people's souls.
But it really wasn't even that. He always knew he wanted to be the pastor. And that was part of their problem.
Deep down, that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah. And then running this thing like a complete business, because guess what? Church has become a big business at the end of the day. The same thing that Amazon does, the same thing your mega churches and all of your churches do. Backstabbing. Filthy, dirty, like conniving.
It was a legitimate cutthroat business. That we were involved in.
Yep.
Not just them, we were involved in it.
We got to experience that firsthand because we lived there.
Yep, and we had to try to walk the fence because we were still trying to figure out our own path as a married couple, and we were building a business had a new baby, new business,
living in a church.
Yep.
I don't even think we didn't have a car. No car.
Everybody was telling us that, we were crazy. We need to go and get quote-unquote real jobs. What to this day a real job is. We've been at this for 8 years, plugging.
7 years
profitable
with the business.
And I still don't know what I never tell anybody what a real job is, because whatever it is that you do to make money is what you do to make money. You don't have to have, quote-unquote real job. Whatever that job is you're doing that's providing money for you is your real job.
Yep.
But tears, crying, praying to God that something would work.
Yep. Prayer. That's all I had. I didn't have anything else.
with significant or with tiny victories here and there that would build a stepping stone to the next step.
I was literally crying out, just like, Lord, make it all just make sense. And
we're here to open up. Don't start crying.
I'm not. No matter what, no matter how much you cry or sometimes and cry out sometimes, God hears. He cares. But at the end of the day, you still have to go through what he needs you to go through. So you have to do it with tears in your eyes sometimes. You have to do it, when you don't feel like it. You have to do it when it hurts. You have to do it when people are talking about you. You have to do it and complete that task, Because
what happens if you're crying and you feel like all you're doing is keep sliding backwards?
Yeah, because it did feel like every time we took one step forward,
something would happen.
We get knocked back down. And the whole time, people kicking us while we're down. Like, it was rumors going around my family that we were stealing stuff.
Yeah.
And selling it. And I'm just
no,
like...
No, not we. Me.
Yeah,
it was me.
Yeah. I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? Like, I can't even believe... I was just so in such disbelief at that time. That's why I get so emotional when I think about it and when I talk about it. Because it was such a hard time. Yeah.
Fighting with each other. Not only fighting with the people on the outside, but fighting with each other.
Couldn't stop arguing, fighting.
Because we were newly married, and when you're trying to figure each other out, and you're trying to figure out what your roles are as husband and wife, sometimes that growth is hard.
Yep.
So you're in the church, you've seen all these things. Do you feel like you've paid the cost to be able to sit here and correctly tell these people your thoughts
100%.
And what God is saying to you?
100%.
Was anything ever given to you?
Nope.
Has anything ever came free?
Nope.
It's free, but there's always a string attached.
Listen, let me tell you something. Every video I make, every video I've ever made, every word or piece of knowledge or wisdom that I've ever shared, it came with a price. And the Bible even talks about how you gonna pay a price for wisdom. You're gonna pay a price to know God. And I do it all over again because it's things that I see now. I'm able to see God and hear God clearly because of those times. Like, what's the name of this video? What's the price that I'm willing to pay? Or are you willing to pay? Are you willing to pay the price to get to where God will have you to be? Because everybody's, called to do something. Okay, but there are very few that are chosen. And listen, for those who are called and those who are chosen, listen, what is the price you're willing to pay? You have to let go of some friends. You have to let go of some people that you want to keep in your life. You have to let go of some things that you want to do in your life, because it's no longer about you and it's no longer about what you want. It's about what God will have you to do. And when you say, Lord, send me, and you singing those songs and you confessing these things out your mouth, what's that? Send me, I'll go to the nations.
Sing it, girl.
What's that song? And the whole world will know. When you're singing and confessing these things, you have to understand that it's a confession. So you don't understand why you're getting hit as hard as you are. But you're singing something and saying and speaking a thing. And God's like, what? Send you? Okay. Let me send you through all of the crap. I'm not going to say crap. All of the long suffering, which may feel like crap. I'm just going to be honest. It feels like crap and you're going to feel like crap going through it. But at the end of the day, what does the Bible say? It says the sufferings of these times, it can't be compared to the glory that God has prepared for you, it can't compare. So I never understood that scripture, because for 7 years straight, it was just straight up crap. It was just straight up long suffering. And I'm like, okay, now I know what your word says. I know it says that it shall not be compared to the joy. It can't be compared. Like all of the sufferings of these times can't be compared to that which you have prepared. But what have you prepared? Because this is hard. You get what I'm saying? Like this is unbearable. And I tell you what, every time, try not to get emotional, every time I felt like I was breaking and I felt like I was cracking, God showed up. Did he not? Every single time where I was just ready to throw the towel in, God showed up. And you'll know it's God because it's supernatural how everything will just fall into place.
Give an example.
I can't think of one right off the top of the bat.
You were dead broke.
Dead broke. Living in poverty. And I was about to just lose my mind. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
with a newborn.
With a toddler and a newborn. And I remember getting on my knees and crying out to God. And the next thing you know, we moved into Staybridge.
Okay.
The next day or something like that. But I was just done. And
I'm going to give a good one.
Give a good one.
We're dead broke. We have a baby. We have $20, and I have $20 in my pocket, and that's all I have. We're in church. It's offering time. It's collection time. And I'm like, hon, I can't give anything. We don't have anything to give. My wife looked over at me and said, well, pray about it and do whatever God tells you to do. So I said, okay, all right. We're going through the service now. It's time for offering, or they're going around doing collections. I don't believe in tithing or any of these things, but I prayed and I gave every dollar we had, all $20. And what happened after that?
Tell it.
Church is over with. We have no money, nothing. And a lady walks up to my wife and hands her, how much?
I don't remember. $20, wasn't it?
No. It was like $200.
You talking about Pat?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Handed you like $200 and said, God told me to give you this.
Wow.
Or another
I do
time,
remember that.
We're dead broke because $200 don't last that long. And somebody walked up to me and handed me over a $500 check.
Yes.
Out of the blue.
Yep.
That we weren't expecting.
Yep.
At all.
Yep.
And which got us to the next. It always seemed like God showed up for us right when it was right there. The end of the cliff was right there. We were about to go off. And God would show up every time. Right there.
Every single time. Without fail. That's why I say, like, when you really trust in God, you got to trust him, because at the last second it'll feel like it's literally the shot clock is saying 1 second left on the clock,
and God
will show up.
Here's like another one. Back to it. So we decide we can't. We're leaving Buffalo. We're out of here. So we left where we were living. We went and moved. This is what my wife was just talking about. We moved into an extended stay called Staybridge that we were going to stay at it for a little bit until we left. Now, it was a very nice place. We had life very made at that point in time. But we were making really good money too at that point. And it was time to go. We were going to leave here and we were going to go all the way across the other side of the country.
Yep.
And so we took off. We had a very nice vehicle. nice place we were living in. Like, it was so nice that we were sitting in a hot tub on Christmas Day.
Yep. Christmas morning.
Yep. And we got midway. We got about 12 hours from Buffalo. And out of the blue, the truck starts pouring oil. Pouring. Remember that?
Yep. I'll never forget it.
So I said, all right, what do we do? Because we can't keep driving this truck and let the oil be pouring out like this. We got to another stop. And it poured rain. Ruined
all of our
inventory for work.
All of our livelihood was just
gone. And we ended up, long story short, coming back to Buffalo. But we were given more than what we left with now. We have more than what we had.
So many people, when you're hearing him talk about this, I know that my day one people from the channel have already heard this story. But that was the time where God was really training my ear to hear him. Like, and you could attest to that, right? That was the time where I really found out who God was. That was the time I really found out how God spoke. Like, I had always been a woman that loved God. Even when I was in my sin, my first name was God first then me. Always God first then me. That was my Facebook name, even when I was in sin. I always had a zeal of God on my life, right? But I was really learning this. And all of this stuff was happening at one time, and God was leading us to Seattle. We were getting every sign. Everything was about Seattle. Absolutely everything. Seattle was everywhere. All the signs were there. We had never been to Seattle, never had a desire to go to Seattle, but God was saying, go to Seattle. So we said, okay, this is our sign. This is our sign. We have to do this. So, long story short, we go to Seattle. The oil start leaking out of our truck.
Pouring.
It just goes to show that God can speak through whatever he wants to speak. Anything could have started leaking. Anything, right? The gas could have started leaking. Yep. The windshield fluid. Power steering. Anything could have started leaking, but the oil started leaking. Oil is symbolic of God, period. The anointing of the Holy Spirit. So again, he can speak through whatever he want to speak through. And I knew in that moment that God was speaking. So yeah, it may have been a jacked up situation for us because it's like, okay, we're stuck. Mm-hmm. But on the spiritual flip side, I knew exactly how God spoke. I said, oh, okay, this is God speaking. Because it made me realize that God is not a small God. He could speak through whatever he want to speak through. And that whole time, we pitched our tent. We went to this campsite. We pitched a tent. Woke up, and there was 50 hawks hovering around our tent.
Yep.
Now, mind you, there's other tents, and there's these hawks. I'm getting chills because God was like, listen, I'm speaking. And I'm speaking to you. Because guess what? Time is ticking. And around this time, next year, was it 2019 we did that? Mm-hmm. Because around this time next year, I'm going to need you to speak to my people about coronavirus and how I speak and how I judge and how I handle people who think I'm a joke. So yeah, it felt like crap. But without that crap, I wouldn't have been able to see that this is God's judgment, y'all. Y'all better wake up. Correct?
Correct.
Listen, y'all getting hit hard, ain't y'all? Restaurants still closing down. America has been hit. Where it hurts in the money part. Restaurants getting hit. Malls shutting down. Everything is shutting down. Like absolutely everything. And I would not have been able to speak to y'all and to know what that an eagle was symbolic of something, or be able to identify two eagles on a tree, because I would have never been looking for it. God, he's given me supernatural signs. And it was in those moments where I knew that God was speaking. So it may feel like crap for you. It may feel like nothing's going right. It may feel like absolutely everything is going wrong. And it may be. It may be. But guess what? God is speaking, and God speaks in those moments. So don't get all, huffy puffy. Where's your faith at? Say, okay, God, what is you trying to speak to me right now? What are you trying to tell me? Is there something about me that I need to fix?
What about the ones that fake it?
Who fake it?
The people on YouTube, the people in the pulpit that fake it, that have never been through anything, or make it up as they go along.
I get offended. I get offended by the liars. I get offended by people who get up in pulpits and they never suffered. I get offended by people who say they're prophets, but they have never experienced the wilderness. They've never experienced not knowing how they'll feed their family. They never experienced, God taking everything and pruning you. They never experienced the isolation phases. They've never experienced the suffering. They've never experienced it to a point where you feel like you're depressed. So when Elijah was depressed and running from Jezebel and feeling like he was the only one left, I understand that, because you have to go through a certain level of training to be able to speak for God. That's why I don't take it lightly. I have to watch what I say.
Let me tell y'all something.
I have to watch what I say.
I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret, something that she won't tell you. Before she does these videos, she gets very antsy. She gets nervous to come here and do this. This isn't something that she just up and says, I'm going to make a video, woohoo, and gets all excited. No, this comes, you should see the toll it takes on her. The mental toll that because she takes this serious. Each and every one of you that are listening to this right now, she takes your life seriously. She takes what she puts into you seriously. And then there's people that come around and tell you the prophecy for October, or the word for December. And she gets offended because these are things that she takes to heart.
Suffered for.
That she's suffered and given for. So, it's hard for her to get up sometimes and do these videos, because it takes everything out of her in order to do it. And then when she's done, she's drained. She's just ready to just go lay down, because, it takes a lot to give you guys this stuff.
And never mind the attacks from our lives and stuff like that. Like, you guys get to see a little bit of the attack.
Fun part.
No. I'm talking about when our Wi-Fi just shuts out.
Oh, yeah.
Or when it says I'm live, but you can't see me. Or, they get to see a little bit of the attack, but y'all don't understand the toll that it takes.
And it just doesn't go for just her. It goes for this whole family.
Yep.
When she's attacked, this whole family's attacked.
Right. When I'm affected, yeah.
And then there might be an attack on me just to get to her, and I'm looking around like, what did I do in this situation? I didn't do nothing. I'm not making videos. I'm not, but just to get to her, it'll come through me, or it'll come through the kids, or, so she takes this all this stuff very seriously. And I know there's a calling on my wife's life, and I try my best to encourage it and help her wherever I can. But there's only so much I can do.
Yep. The rest is up to me.
The rest is up to her. Because anything that my wife does, anything that doesn't involve her calling, it fails.
Can we just talk about that real quick?
It fails.
Can we just really talk about that real quick?
In a dramatic fashion. She'll want to go to work, get a job. She'll be on her best behavior, doing her thing. She gets fired. She'll try to start a different business offshoot of the one we have. Something will go wrong. If it does not have anything to do with her calling,
true.
it just explodes.
Yep.
So we got to the point where we said, all right, you know what? You focus on your calling. I'll focus on making sure this family's good. Because nothing will work unless God doesn't come first here.
Yep. I'm so happy you're talking about this because, again, that's something that I would not have shared. But I feel like it really needs to be shared because, yeah, like for the people who are really
called,
the few that are chosen, and you have a cause such as to be a mouthpiece for God, nothing in your life will go good. Nothing in your life will go right. You will not be able to marry who you want. You will not be able to just have the life that you want. Oh no. God will, listen, have people break your heart.
He will bend your knee.
He will bend. Listen, he is reckless in a good way for your own good. He will have people expose themselves. He will isolate you. And it's not.
And isolation sometimes is for protection.
Isolation is for protection. It will make it, listen, God will literally make everything go wrong just so that he can get your attention, just so that you can continue to talk to him, just so that you could continue to pray to him, just so that he could get your full attention, so that he could teach you, so that you could know him.
Here's another price. Tell them about what happened yesterday afternoon. You get an email.
Oh man, I get an email last night watching football and I wish I could read it, but my phone is on a charger. It's an email about a commercial offer. And I get this commercial offer and I wish I remember the name of it, but it's for a video game.
And they will pay her to read a commercial before or during her video.
Right. Now, of course, it's not a Christian video game.
No.
It has to be the most outrageous video game ever.
It's
literally a video game from Satan. Okay? It's where you killing witch spirits and stuff. Like, what? Like, why would you? It's like, congratulations. I feel like your channel would be a great candidate for our commercials. And I'm just like, okay, but this is a clear sign. This is what the music industry and these artists deal with. They deal with the temptation of money. See, I don't need the money. Okay? God takes care of me and my family. I don't need the money. So I don't have to be like, yeah, I'm going to do your commercial. Because I don't need the money. Like, so yeah, I would have had, gained some money. But at the end of the day, I would have had to expose you all to a video game.
Just read the bottom part of it.
Let me see.
So this just goes to show you another price that is paid, because as she's saying she doesn't need the money, listen, we all know you can always use the extra money.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying
But at what cost does it come? While she's telling you about this video game.
Where is it?
Actually, it doesn't tell you. You gotta hold on. You know what? Don't read anything. I'm gonna read it.
Here it is.
No, I'm gonna read what the video game's about.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember what it's
called. It says,
"Do
you want to work with us? We are waiting for your reply."
Okay. It says that it tells the story of two children of the soulless who will combine the powers of the sun and moon to perform eclipse magic, the only force capable of fending off the monstrous creations of the evil alchemist known as the Fleshmancer.
Yeah.
Now, this company reaches out to Shay. Now, she could have made the money. She could have came up here and told you guys about Fleshmancer and all sorts of other craziness. But because
I'm accountable. I take it for real. Like, I'm accountable for God's sheep. And I'm not going to expose you guys to anything like witchcraft when I'm speaking against witchcraft. I don't care if it's a video game. I don't care if it's a cartoon. I'm not going to encourage or promote a commercial, that's going against what God would have me to do.
So the cost just doesn't come in the hits. It also comes in the form of money.
Absolutely.
So tell them what happened this morning. So that happened last night. There was, they offered us money to promote this. Today,
I get an email from a young lady that watches our channel, and she, long story short, blessed me.
Yep.
Blessed me.
Out of the blue.
Just for no reason. And listen, God is faithful. I didn't even put the 2 and 2 together, but I'm gonna try not to get. I'm so emotional. Like I am such a big crybaby, but I didn't even put that 2 and 2 together. But God's like, listen, the devil can't bless you without you. Like you listen, the devil is out here blessing people. Don't get it twisted, okay? The devil blesses people. He said, what did he say to Jesus? He said, if you bow down and worship me, I'll give you all of this. And a lot of people in the music industry, they fall for that. A lot of people on YouTube, they fall for that. The devil blesses people, okay? Don't get it misconstrued, okay? But God, he like, listen, when you shun evil, I'll bless you. And ain't no blessing compared to my blessing. So that's what I have to stand on. And that's what I continue to stand on.
So, do you feel as if you paid the price to be able to sit here?
Yep.
My wife may not shake any of your hands, but she holds each one of your souls in her. I can't even tell you how seriously she takes each and every one of you. So, next time you go and you're flipping through YouTube, ask yourself, did this person pay the price? And you'll know if he paid the price by, 1, the way he speaks, but 2, he'll tell you the price he paid.
You just gotta listen.
You have to open up your ears.
Yeah. What's your testimony? Because that's what really matters. What did you really go through? Like, what did God bring you through? Because I need to hear a testimony in order for me to believe you, that you a prophet, or believe that you a pastor, or believe that you could, really watch over my soul. That's what a pastor is. It's supposed to watch over the souls of the sheep.
We glazed over some of the stuff we went through, and soon we'll get into
details. We'll get into
details and things, but there's so many things that had happened that we'd be here for hours on end talking to you guys about the stuff, the hits we've taken. But I just wanted to I just wanted to
blow after blow, just like pop.
I just wanted her to be able to tell you the things that she has sacrificed to be here right now to speak to every last one of you.
Yep.
Got anything else to add to that?
Nope.
Okay.
So we 38 minutes in.
Boom.
So listen, I hope that something was said or done that encouraged you. My husband said it. I really do take you guys as serious. Like, most importantly, I take my Savior serious. I take my God very serious. And I'm always keeping you guys in my prayers. And most importantly, if I'm not praying for you guys, I'm praying for me. Because it's hard to continue to stay on the straight and narrow. Like, it's hard. It's gotten easier because I know me. I know my flesh, right? But it's still hard. So I'm constantly praying for me because I know that you guys are dependent on me. There is somebody dependent on you to do what God called you to do. So don't get this thing twisted. Like, you see my example, however, it's somebody dependent on you to get to where you're supposed to be and stay there. Okay, so again, I love you guys. Talk to you guys soon. If you want, you can email me at speakhervoice2too @gmail.com. I love you guys so much. Talk to you soon. God bless.
Cheer.
Oh my gosh. If you don't stop doing that.